Welcome to this training on configuring proper reporting functions in the Gilbarco Passport POS. In every convenience store and fuel retail environment, reporting is more than a back-office task. It is the foundation for visibility, accountability, and trust in your data. The reports generated at shift and store close determine whether sales activity, department movement, fuel transactions, taxes, and safe drops are accurately captured and available for review. When these reports are configured correctly, store operators gain clear insight into daily performance, and MostEdge gains the reliable data needed to validate, reconcile, and analyze store activity through Mercury One. When reporting elements are missing or improperly configured, the result is incomplete XML exports, reporting gaps, failed validations, and discrepancies between what the store has recorded and what is reflected in Mercury One. These gaps make reconciliation difficult, reduce confidence in the data, and can create unnecessary financial questions that are avoidable with proper setup. This training will walk you through where these reporting functions live within the Gilbarco system and how to ensure that both shift and store close reports contain the specific elements required for full operational visibility. By the end of this session, you will understand not only how to configure these reports, but why they are critical to maintaining accurate store reporting, precise reconciliation, and complete alignment between Gilbarco and MostEdge systems. Proper reporting is not optional. It is the key to ensuring every sale, every department, and every transaction is accounted for. Let's get started. Before we move into identification and setting of reporting functionality, it is important to review and ensure proper back-office setting configurations. So we will first review these settings. Keep in mind that to access this functionality, you must be signed in with manager credentials. Using the appropriate credentials, you will be able to access the Reports Configuration section of the Manager Workstation. Select More, Tools, Manager Workstation. Now select Setup. From here, you now have access to the Store folder. The first folder is where you should see Back Office. You should select Back Office. From here, we are actually checking and setting some common configurations. We are not yet identifying reports to activate. We will get to that. The interface format should be set to NACS XML v3.4. This is important for communication between the POS and the agent terminal. Let's make sure each tab is correctly configured. The first tab, Documents, identifies all of the reports currently set to be included in store and shift close reports. You cannot make any changes from here. Don't worry, we will get to that. The second tab is Generation Options. This area controls the reporting elements that are embedded into shift and store close reports and ultimately into the XML files consumed by Mercury One. The selections made here determine whether critical data such as department totals, tax details, fuel movement, tenders, safe drops, and sales summaries are actually written into the report output. In simple terms, the Generation Options tab is where you tell Passport what story the report should tell. Proper configuration ensures the report contains a complete picture of store activity at both the shift and store level. In the Generation Options, the following must be selected: Generate transaction level data, reassign PLUs to assume department changes, calculate net sales for merchandise code movement and item sales movement. This reflects sales, refunds, and discounts. Generate network batch data, capture XML file. Generate acknowledgement files, and include original cashier ID in PJR file. If these options are not properly enabled, the report may still generate, but key operational data will be missing. That leads to incomplete exports, reconciliation challenges, and discrepancies between what the store sees in Passport and what MostEdge receives in Mercury One. Now let's move to the next tab, which is Polling Options. The Polling Options function in the Gilbarco Passport POS controls when and how report data is made available for external systems to retrieve. While report configuration determines what data is included, polling options determine whether that data can be consistently and reliably collected by systems like Mercury One. Proper polling ensures that shift close and store close reports are exposed, accessible, and transmitted at the right intervals without manual intervention. After selecting the Polling Options tab, we need to ensure the correct configuration. First, ensure there is a check in the option to enable XML gateway file polling. The username should be set to Back Office, with both the B and O being capitalized. The password is the exact same. Again, this is case sensitive, and the B and O must be capitalized. The directory path to pull XML files from should be the Z drive. See the specific path is shared on screen. If polling options are not correctly configured, reports may exist inside Passport, but never be retrieved, creating gaps in reporting, missed data pulls, and reconciliation discrepancies. In simple terms, polling options are what allow the reporting data you configured to actually leave Passport and reach MostEdge for validation, visibility, and analysis. Now let's move to the final tab, Import Options. The Import Options tab in the Gilbarco Passport POS controls how external data files are accepted and processed by the system. While generation and polling options focus on what data leaves Passport, import options govern how data coming into Passport is recognized, validated, and applied. This is especially important for ensuring that configuration files, updates, and supporting data from systems like Mercury One are properly received and integrated without error. From the Import Options tab, the back office sends a value of 0 for the base item in the POS code modifier tag should be selected. Next, ensure that Process 1 item records, then pause for 300 milliseconds is reflected. If import options are not set correctly, files may fail to process, be ignored, or be applied incorrectly, which can disrupt reporting alignment and create inconsistencies between Passport and MostEdge systems. In simple terms, import options ensure that Passport can correctly accept the data it needs to stay synchronized with external reporting and operational tools. With that, you have now properly ensured the communication gateway between the Passport device and agent terminal is properly configured and aligned. This is an absolute prerequisite to identifying and setting shift and day close reports. Now we are truly ready to review and confirm the actual shift and day close reports are properly identified. From the Manager workstation, select Setup and Store. Next, select Period Maintenance. From here, you can adjust and review period maintenance settings. Let's start with the General tab. From the General tab, ensure a check-in in all of the boxes, and Sunday is listed as the first day of the reporting week. You also have an option to set manager periods. This is not required by MostEdge. Now let's look at the Till Close tab. Till Close reports are not required by MostEdge. However, some managers like this additional report. If set, Mercury One recommends setting the following reports: Till Safe Drop report, Till Paid in Paid Out report, Till Discount Summary report, and Till Price Override report. Once you select the report, you will need to select the box at the bottom of the screen labeled Till Close Reports. If you do not select the box, the reports will not be added. Moving on, we can now review the required Shift Close reporting options. In the Gilbarco Passport POS, Shift Close reports should be configured to capture a complete summary of all transactional activity that occurred during a single operating shift. These reports must include department sales totals, fuel sales and movement, tax summaries, tender activity, paid-ins and paid-outs, safe drops, and over or short information. The goal of the Shift Close report is to provide a clear, self-contained snapshot of what happened during that specific shift, so managers can validate performance before the next shift begins. Once you select the Shift Close tab, you will see the reports that can be created at Shift Close. Note there is a scroll bar to the right. Be sure you review all options, as we will only cover what is required by MostEdge. You may find some additional reports of use and want to add them. From the Shift report, look for and select the following: Store Sales Summary, Tax Collection Report, POS Shift Report, Department Sales, Current Safe Drops, Paid In, Paid Out Report, Discount Summary Report, Fuel Grade Movement, Item Sales Movement, Merchandise Code Movement, Miscellaneous Summary Movement, and Tax Level Movement. Once you select the report, you will need to select the box at the bottom of the screen labeled Shift Close Reports. If you do not select the box, the reports will not be added. Keep in mind, in Shift Close Reports within the Gilbarco Passport POS, the sections for merchandise movement, fuel movement, and tax movement are critical because they explain where the sales totals came from. Merchandise movement shows how in-store items performed by department and category. It validates that product sales recorded at the register are properly summarized into department totals and reflected in the shift's overall sales. Fuel movement tracks gallons sold, fuel sales dollars, and dispenser activity during the shift. This ensures fuel totals can be reconciled against dispenser readings and shift sales, which is essential in fuel retail environments. Tax movement shows how taxes were calculated and collected across both merchandise and fuel transactions. This validates that taxable sales are being properly captured and reported. Together, these three sections create the operational story behind the shift totals. They allow managers to verify that sales, gallons, and taxes align with what physically occurred in the store and at the pumps. They also ensure that the XML data exported from Passport contains the detailed breakdown required for accurate validation and reconciliation in systems like Mercury One. Now let's close out by reviewing the Store Close reports that should be selected. From the Store Close tab, be sure the following are selected: Store Sales Summary, Tax Collection Report, Department Sales, Store Till Summary, Current Safe Drop, and Paid In Paid Out Report. Now that you have ensured proper report configuration and required reports, you will have all of the information needed to help you make informed decisions regarding your store's success and margins. Even better, MostEdge will now have the ability to cross-reference and ensure that all sources of truth and align to meet your store's business objective. Well done. Thank you for ensuring these vital reports and configurations are accurately reflecting in your Gilbarco POS.